Hello all, welcome back once again to another interesting story under the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav story series by Momish Musings. Today I'm going to introduce you to an interesting person about whom we haven't heard, but we heard a lot about the battle in which he was martyred. Interesting, isn't it, my dear friends? Yes, I'm going to share with you about the last king who has ruled Delhi. The moment I say the Hindu king who has ruled Delhi, everybody's mind will go to Prithviraj Chauhan. But have you heard about the king called Hemachandra Vikramaditya? Not many people would have heard it, except the people who love history and who had already gone deeper into the history. This person, Hemachandra Vikramaditya, is also being called as the Indian Napoleon by the famous historians. So you want to know why it's like this? So as usual, let us first understand the background about what is the current state of India at that particular point of time, and when Hemchandra Vikramaditya came into the picture. Hemachandra Vikramaditya was born in Alwar region of Rajasthan, but his family has moved to Rewari in Haryana, in current Haryana, because Rewari falls in the main market route from Iran, Iraq to Delhi. And because a lot of traders keep visiting India for trading, there was a lot of jobs that were available in Rewari at that point of time and compared to Alwar in Rajasthan. And Hemachandra Vikramaditya's father is a basically a knowledge person, who works as a purohit, and he felt that being in Rewar, he's not able to manage the economics of his family. So he moved to Rewari. And Hemachandra, or fondly called as Hemu, spent his entire childhood in Rewari, and that became a learning ground for him. He understood the market dynamics. He understood the traders' mentality. He understood what are the things that are much needed by Indians. What are the things that we can give it to the people who are coming out of India, and what are the things that they would like to carry forward back to their country and stuff like that. So the more he started learning all these things, the more he started getting intrigued with the different conflicts that arise because of the languages, because of the economic conditions, because of the strategy, planning, and everything. And he was already an expert in Sanskrit because of his family background, and he learned Persian, Arabic, Hindi, and Prakritic. What are all the languages that are famous at that particular point of time? And he's also very good. Because he's mingling a lot with the traders, he learned horse riding, camel riding along with them. And on top of it, he also likes wrestling, because most of the traders or the market people, after the market is closed, they indulge in some kind of pastime activities, right? And that is how Hemu got involved into wrestling, and he started liking wrestling, fish fighting, arm fighting, and stuff like that. So that is how he got introduced into military skills as well. What a good learning ground he got, isn't it? And at that point of time, Delhi is being ruled by Suri. And by the time Hemu has reached 13 years, Hemu's father has left to Madura on a devotional trip. He said he's not able to manage the family and all. He wants to spend time in Vairagya or whatever it is. And so he wants to worship God and stay in Madura for some time. So, being the eldest boy in Hemu's family, Hemu has to take care of his entire family. And so he started wearing the trader's hat, and he started supplying the cereals to the Suri's army people and horses. And that is how he started interacting with the king Shesa Suri. And Shah Suri started observing this young chap who is very dynamic, who is very intelligent and very straightforward in his the way he was talking and stuff like that. So slowly over a period of time, Shah Suri started taking a liking about our Hemachandra. He was not, so that means he is not a king by royal birth, isn't it, my dear friends? Then slowly what happened is, Hemo felt that just by supplying cereals, his life he cannot spend his life. He needs to expand his business. So he knew that the gunpowder, everything was coming all the way from Iran, Iraq to Delhi for all the Afghanistani rulers who are actually ruling Delhi at that point of time. So he befriended certain traders from Iran and Iraq, and he started importing gunpowder from them. And he also felt that instead of importing the shells that are used to basically make the bullets, he himself can set up a karkhana or a small factory to manufacture those bullet shells. So that way he started developing, I mean, expanding his business empire. And that is the time when Shesha Suri fell sick and he died. Then his offspring, or the next heir, Islam Shah Suri, had taken the control of the Delhi Sultanate. And that is the time when Islam Shah Suri also got struck, I mean, got attracted to the dynamic personality Hemu, and he appointed Hemu as a market superintendent. And although he asked Hemu to work as a spy in the market yard for him, and that gave him more and more chances for Hemu to interact with Islam Suri. And over a period, we all know that Islam Suri also couldn't control the Delhi Sultanate for a long time, and he died off within a short duration, isn't it? So the next heir to Delhi Sultanate is none other than Adil Shah Suri. And we all know Adil Shah Suri is a weakling ruler, right? He's not a very great ruler, and he was actually considered to be the weakest part of the Delhi Sultanate link, isn't it? So most of the other offsprings from the Suri dynasty wanted to attack Adil Shah Suri and take away the throne from his hands, and that is when Hemu has become his bodyguard. I mean, not in the literal sense of bodyguard, but he became the chief commander of Adil Shah Suri's army, and he started quenching all the coups within the royal court, all the revolts that are happening from outside the royal forts, and he started securing Adil Shah Suri's life. And but anyway, the family revolts had gone to a peak, and they have given Adil Shah Suri only a small portion of a kingdom, that is from the current Agra till the outskirts of Bengal. But the other three parts were divided by among the other three nephews of Shah Suri. So that what happened at that point of time is, um, uh, Hemu has gone and waged a war against the Bengal Muslims and occupied the Bengal province as well, and gave the custody to Adil Shah Suri. Adil Shah Suri became really happy, and he started trusting Hemu so much that he made Hemu as the prime minister of his entire court. So, and in the meantime, Babar, who has already fled away from India because he got defeated in the war with Sheza Suri, realized that there are so many conflicts that are happening in the Suri's family, and this is the right time to come back and take away the Delhi Sultanate control. So he came and occupied the Delhi fort from the Suri, one of the Islam Shah, Sher Shah Suri's grandsons, or Islam Shah's nephews. But unfortunately, after occupying the Delhi Sultanate, within a short span of time, Humayun had passed away in a very ill-fated accident. So that left Akbar in the control of Byram Khan, who is known to be the caretaker of Akbar when he was just a child. So hearing that Humayun has come down to occupy Delhi Sultanate, Adil Shah became scared, and he was thinking, what will happen to my future? Then our Hemu said, don't fear, I will go and attack Humayun. He started moving all the way from Bengal through Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and all the Agra, Mara, and all the areas up till Delhi. By the time he reached Tughlaqabad Fort, Humayun has already passed away, and the battle which he waged at Tughlaqabad Fort is actually a real example of his masterful strategies in the military actions. Hemu has devised strategy in such a way that he has confused the Mughal armies at the Tughlaqabad Fort, and he had, killed almost 3,000 soldiers in the Tughlaqabad Fort on a single day, which gave jitters to everybody. And then Byram Khan and Akbar had fled from the Delhi and started hiding far away from Delhi. And all the other confidence of Byram Khan and Akbar started advising them that they should go back to Kabul now and return back when once Hemu gets defeated by some or other kings, because they know that this Hindu king cannot survive on the Delhi throne for longer, because most of the Mughals who are surrounding them will not let them survive. But Bairam Khan was little adamant in this time, saying like he will not flee India, like just like how Humayun had done at that point of time, but instead he will wait for a right opportunity. The right opportunity. In the meantime, what happened is, after Tughlaq fort's win, Hemu has marched to Delhi and conquered Delhi within a span of one single day. And that makes him, there's a 22 battles. He has won 22 battles so far without any defeat. And his name was spreading wide and far, about his bravery skills, about his military administration skills, about his military strategies and stuff like that. And the very next day, uh, Hemu got coronated himself in Purana Killa, which is still there currently in Delhi, as the and taken up the title as Samrat Hemachandra Vikramaditya, because he's taken so fancy about the Hindu rulers from the down south, that he wanted to establish the entire India, get entire India into the Hindu control. So he said, this is the chance for me to get entire North India into my control. And along with that, I will also go as far as Kabul and establish our Hindu rule there. So that was his far-fetched dream. But unfortunately, fate has some other plans. His reign could last only for 29 days, my dear friends. 29 days. But within these 29 days, he's done so much changes for the administrative policies and for the market administration, political administration, and everything. He's issued golden coins on his name to indicate that Delhi throne is also being ruled by one Hindu king on so and so date. And he's ensured that there are no black marketeers. He made rules against black marketeers, overholders, the people who hike the prices left, right, and center. He's made very stringent rules, and he helped all the poor people to get deals, goods at a fair price. He's established a fair price system in the market. And at the same time, he's ensured that on the political side, on the public work side, he always rules it in a more secular format, and all the people who have talent can get jobs in the royal court without any caste bias or and the economic bias and stuff like that. He said only the people with talent should succeed in my country. What a noble thought, isn't it? And he's given equal importance to all people from all religions, all castes, be it be Afghans, be it be Mughals, be it be Buddhists, be it be Hindus, whoever is approaching him was treated fair and equal. Unfortunately, this king couldn't last forever because fate had some other plans. Within a month, Byram Khan started preparing for another war with Hemu or Hemachandra Vikramaditya, and these two parties met at Panipat, and this is time Panipat two battles started happening. And as always, the battle was in favor of Hemachandra Vikramaditya. The Mughal forces were getting killed left, right, and center. The army chieftains were getting scared and were running from hither to there. Most of the army people were scared, were killed. And one more thing, I need to highlight it here, my dear friends. Akbar was not in the war scene. War scene was being handled by Byram Khan alone, and Akbar is, stationed somewhere far away from Panipat, because he's just a teenage boy at that point of time, and they wanted to protect their hair. Okay, so we need to remember that point as well. So everything was happening, and Hemachandra's army was at the verge of victory. Within maybe by the end of the day, they could have taken victory into their hands, and then the history could have changed forever. Akbar would have left India for good. But one fake arrow came from somewhere. Nobody knows from where. It had hit the left eye of our king Hemachandra Vikramaditya and went inside, deep inside the eye, and came out. The tip came out from the back of his head. This brave king couldn't stop. Though it's hurting him a lot, blood was falling down, dripping from his left eye. He took the right hand and pulled the arrow out of his eye used the cloth that are there in his chariot on top of that elephant, bandaged that left eye, and started waging war. But unfortunately, a wound of such nature couldn't, has taken away all his strength and courage. He had, rather, let me say, it didn't take his strength and courage. It has taken energy out of his body. He has fainted within half an hour on top of that elephant. The moment he fainted and toppled out from the elephant, the Mughal forces captured him alive. And they took him to Byram Khan. Byram Khan asked his soldiers to get Akbar from that faraway place and asked him to kill this our famous king Hemachandra Vikramaditya. Then there are a lot of conflicts in the history as to whether has Akbar has really killed Hemachandra or whether somebody else has killed Hemachandra. But his head was separated from his body and taken to Kabul and was hung on the Kabul's main entrance. Um, but his body was left in the Panipat itself, where it was cremated. And now we can see his samadhi, which is there in Panipat, in the place where exactly he got slain, has been converted to a dargah. And people say that it's a dargah of some unknown Muslim saint. We don't know what is truth, what is not true at this point of time, my dear friends. But we know that the brave Hindu king, who is also fondly called as Napoleon of India, chapter ended within 29 days of him taking the control of Delhi fort. I wish we are there to see some more time Hemchandra ruling Delhi, or we don't know what would have happened to the history, whether the Indian history would have changed, or what would have happened. It's all left to the decision of the God. But that's all is the story for my today, my dear friends. So I'm leaving you with a heavy heart. I know that, but still, there are a lot of lessons that we can carry forward from this man's story. He's he's risen from the humble background, is from a family which don't even have enough money to feed its entire family, and he's become king of Delhi. So if we have any ambition, we can definitely fulfill it. Dream, then achieve it. So that's all is my story for today, friends. Have a nice day. Bye bye.